Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I did the on-feet portion for this shoe, and it's a Nike shoe, but I wore Adidas socks. What's good, everyone on YouTube? It's me again with another video, and we are switching back to Nike again. So, today we're going to be talking about a shoe that came out sort of at the end of 2018, if I'm not mistaken, as part of Nike's, I guess, marketing push to kind of make the Air Force One kind of hot again. And in this collection, we had the collection was the AF100 collection. So the essence of this collection was a bunch of collaborators would come together to try and make the Air Force One in a different way, but still keep true to the classic white on white look that everyone's familiar with. So you had like the Just Dons, the acronyms, the off-whites, which were highly exclusive and resell for way too much money. The Travis Scotts, which I do think was one of the most unique shoes I've ever seen. Sadly, I don't have those. And the ones we have today, which are the Rocafella Air Force Ones. And without further ado, that is what we're talking about. Today we are talking about the Nike Air Force Ones in the Rocafella triple white colorway. To be honest, it looks exactly like a normal Air Force One with like maybe two changes, and we'll get to that in a bit. So, starting off, we are going to look at the box, and specific to the AF100 collection, instead of the usual Air Force One box, which I actually have no idea what it looks like. I've never bought an Air Force One until this one. We've got this all-white box with almost no branding on it, except for a glossy text overlay that says Force, and you've got Nike Air Force One actually printed in between the C. And I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick that up, but that's all you have on this particular package. And it's a slide out box, so you know slide out boxes are very special. It's like a shelf. But if we go to the paper, pretty standard feeling paper, but unique to the Air Force One sort of pack that came with it. You've actually got Force written all over the paper. And the shoes were stuffed with standard shoe paper that just kind of fits in the toe. I don't know what it is, these last two shoes just only have paper big enough to fill out the toe box, which actually it makes more sense on this shoe just because yeah, leather creasing, not very nice. And if we go on to the label, we've actually got the Air Force One 07 Rocafella. I'm actually not too sure what the 07 stands for, so if you know, leave it in the comments. But so the retail price on these, I'm not going to say anything because I actually can't remember. I bought these in Hong Kong, so I'll put the conversion here. But basically, I just paid the retail price, so give or take probably around 200 to 220 Australian dollars, which is a little more expensive than standard Air Force Ones. I'm pretty sure standard Air Force Ones retail for about 150 to 170 Australian dollars. But it's neither here or there. We'll get into why I ended up picking up this one as my very first pair of Air Force Ones in a minute. Once we put the shoes out of the way, the box out of the way, my bad. I lied, it wasn't about a minute. We're gonna do it right now. And here we are, my very worn pair of Air Force One lows in the Rocafella white colorway. So, as everyone probably already knows, Air Force One was an old basketball shoe from back in the 80s. And fun fact, it was the first basketball shoe that Nike made with a full-length air unit. And actually, it's kind of surprising how many people don't know that the Air Force One actually has an air unit in the shoe. Yeah, I can forgive you for not knowing that, because to be 100% honest, you don't really feel it. But it's there, and I saw a video of someone cutting it in half. I'll put a screenshot of that. But it's pretty cool to see. You've got a full-length air unit inside this shoe. But yeah, the Air Force One is probably one of the most classic silhouettes that exists in modern culture per se. And in this white on white colorway, it's as fresh as it can get, to be honest. Now, I'm just going to touch on more about what's different about this compared to a regular Air Force One. First things first, the leather quality on this shoe compared to a regular Air Force One is actually half decent. So it's much softer and it's far less plasticky than a regular Air Force One. I remember trying on some regular Air Force Ones before and I just thought they were super stiff. And these were stiff as well, but I would say the leather quality is definitely like a step up from the regular Air Force Ones. And specific to the Rocafella colorway as well, instead of, I'm pretty sure most Air Force Ones have a nylon tongue, this one also has a leather tongue, but they don't have the usual lace lock that comes with Air Force Ones. And you've got 2 hits of Rocafella branding embroidered on the heel right here and on the tongue tab. Instead of the usual Nike Air sort of logo, you've got the Rocafella logo here. I'm not going to pretend I know much about Rocafella. As the limited knowledge I know, it's apparently the record label from Jay-Z or something. Please don't roast me, I don't remember these things. I just bought the shoe just because I actually thought the quality step up was worth the retail price. And the last change they made to the shoe was, instead of the usual mesh that they use for the sock liner in the heel, they actually used this sort of neoprene material, which definitely is a bit of a step up and it feels quite nice when you're wearing it on foot. So in terms of cushioning, as I mentioned before, you've got Nike Air actually. So, you know, something akin to, where is it? God damn it. Something akin to the Air Max 1s there. You've actually got a full length air unit encapsulated in this really hard, almost full rubber sole. And in terms of comfort, we'll get to that in a bit. Now, in terms of sizing, I had heard from many people that Air Force Ones tend to fit big. I actually had the opportunity to try these on in both my true size and a half size down. And I would say with thin socks, I can easily wear these at a half size down. Thicker socks, not so much. But the thing is, I always like wearing thinner socks in general. So for me, I ended up picking these up in a size 9. My true to size is a 9.5. And I would say if you're picking up Air Force Ones, definitely try them on. But I would say it's pretty safe to say you can go half a size down. Unless you have really wide feet, then I would recommend sticking true to size. So, in terms of overall comfort, I'm not going to pretend that this is comfortable at all, because it's not the most comfortable shoe by any stretch of the imagination. You're dealing with super old school tech from, 1982? I just made a guess there. I hope I'm correct. But you've got super old school rubber. The air unit you really can't feel. And the upper gets really hot. But because of the upgraded leather, it does flex quite nicely. But still the breathability issue is still there. So I would just say bottom's quite stiff and the top is still quite hot. But let's be 100% honest, sometimes we're wearing sneakers not because of its comfort, we're wearing it because of its look. And that is where I come into my final opinion of this shoe. For a long time, I never actually owned an Air Force One. Call me a bloody hipster, but when I see a lot of people wearing the same shoe, it kind of turns me off on the shoe. And a lot of people wear Air Force Ones, especially in like triple white colorways. I see a lot of people wearing triple blacks. And I get it, I 100% understand it. Air Force Ones seem to last forever. You can wear them down to the point where I saw someone's Air Force Ones and the heel was so worn out, it looked like those Skechers shape-up shoes, like the ones with the huge wedges. So it really does show that the shoe can last for a long time, and I get that. But I just always thought I can probably work with some different shoes that will make me stand out a little more. But the material upgrade on this and the slight collaboration, I guess clout that this shoe provided was enough to make me finally buy my first pair of Air Force One lows. And funny, I actually did also pick up the Just Don Air Force Ones. Still haven't worn those yet. But Overall, I do understand, after owning these for a while, I do understand why people enjoy these shoes. It's super classic, it works with a lot of fits. It's a little bit bulky, so it doesn't really work with things like, I guess, skinny jeans. I've done it before, and I look back at those photos, it is a bit strange, but it just works. And sometimes it's good to go back to the classics. You don't need to have over branding or ridiculous flags or, you know, some abalone shelled thing. Sometimes the classics work. So with that, we've come to the end of another Nike shoe. That's where am I going to put this one? Anyway, I would love to hear what you think about the Rocafella Air Force Ones. Though, to be honest, there's not much you can pick out on this. But my question to you would be, out of the whole AF100 collection, which one was your favorite? So, you know, if I had the choice to pick just one and I could choose any one of them, I'd honestly probably lean to the Travis Scotts or maybe even the acronyms. Even though those were much harder to get, I ended up picking this and the Just Dons just because, you know, I could pick them up. But I still thought they were good shoes. So if you had a choice between all the AF100 collection, you know, forget about the value of it, whatever, just as a shoe itself, which one was your favorite? Like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. And now time for the on feet portion, which I've already confessed my sins at the start of this video. I'm sorry, guys.